Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Shannon Show. So, as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, this is my autumn reading vlog. This is going up in October, as you can tell, and because of that, I'm not really going to do I am going to do more focus on the books that I was saving for autumn, but this is also going up in October because next month, November, I am going to be doing more of a birthday reading vlog. I'm taking all of November off except for the last week or so, the last 2 weeks where I have 2 book tag videos going up, and then I'm gonna have a birthday reading vlog going up on the last Wednesday. So yeah, I'm gonna do that for November. I'm gonna do a birthday reading vlog for November, but I haven't really decided what the November reading vlog will be, but you'll find out. We'll both kind of find out when it happens. So anyway, for this video specifically, I don't really have a set TBR. There are 3 that I'm tentatively hoping to get to within this reading vlog, or at the very least that I'm going to start. So for what's on the tentative TBR pile, the first one is an Indigenous dark fiction anthology, Never Whistle at Night, edited by Shane Hawk and Theodore C. Van Alst Jr. So this is something I've had for at least a year plus. Let's see. Okay, so this came out in 2023. I've had it for at least a year, like I said, and I keep saving it for September, October especially. And I figured now would be a great time to actually read it and get it into my red pile. And I've also decided that for this reading vlog and future reading vlogs going forward, I'm only going to give the description of the book if I start reading it within the reading vlog. If I haven't started reading it, when I'm going over what books I would like to read now, if I have something like that, if I have that kind of a section, I'm not going to read the description. I'm only going to give the descriptions, like I said, when I'm actually reading the books. So there's this book, and then the next up is Crossed by Emily McIntyre. I read the other 5 Never After novels, and this one just felt like a good autumn read. Maybe not spooky, but a good October read. And then last but certainly not least for this pile, I've read the other series by this author, and I've kind of been putting off reading this book because I feel like I've needed a year between finishing the series and starting another big book by him. But I may as well just kind of bite the bullet with this and try to get it started soon. And that's Malice by John Gwynne. I read the Bloodsworn series and I finished it earlier this year. And kind of what I was saying, it's I felt like I needed at least a year before picking up another series. But I also said, it's I might as well just get it over with rather than having it sit on my shelf. And if I decide I like it, I can buy the rest of the series. So there's that. And then as for the books I'm currently reading, let me just pull up the description for one since I'm listening to it as an audiobook. Okay, so the audiobook that I'm listening to is through Hoopla, and it's The Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner. I have another book right there somewhere on my shelf. Oh yeah. I read The London Seance Society by her, and I really liked that. I tried The Apothecary Diaries. That's an anime. The Lost Apothecary. I tried The Lost Apothecary. You can tell you can tell how much like I really enjoyed the Apothecary Diaries. When is that video going up? Let me see. Because I'm not sure if it's going up before or after this video, so I just wanted to double check. Oh, it's already up. Okay, it's literally up a little over a month before this. So you can tell how much I love the Apothecary Diaries. That show was amazing. Anyway, I've read, for Sarah Penner, I read The London Sand Society, really loved that book. Read The Lost Apothecary. I think I did enough to that, just because I couldn't get into it. I'm willing to like try it again. I just couldn't get into it. Maybe I have to read it as a physical book, but because I listened to that, I don't remember how I read it, but it was either audiobook or ebook. But now I'm listening to The Amalfi Curse. Okay, let's see. Pulling up the description. Okay. Haven Ambrose, a trailblazing nautical archaeologist, has come to the sunset villa of Positano to investigate the mysterious shipwrecks along the Amalfi coast. But Haven is hoping to find more than old artifacts beneath the azure waters. She is secretly on a quest to locate the trove of priceless gemstones her late father spotted on his final dive. Upon Haven's arrival, strange maelstroms and misfortunes start plaguing the town. Is it nature or something more sinister at work? As Haven searches for her father's sunken treasure, she begins to unearth a centuries-old tale of ancient sorcery and one woman's quest to find her lover, to save her lover and her village by using the legendary art of Stricaria, a magical ability to harness the ocean. Could this magic be behind Positano's latest calamities? Haven must unravel the Amalfi Curse before the region is destroyed forever. When does this take place? And this came out this year. The Amalfi Curse time period. Okay, so it's set in the 1820s and then also present day. So there's a dual narrative, dual time period. So look, hopefully this seems like it's right up my alley. So hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on whatever, it is. And then the physical book that I'm reading is The Attic Child by Lola J. And I did read a chapter of this in my book of the month, Read It or Unhaul It. I read a chapter, decided to keep it, and we're finally reading it in its entirety. So I'm only at chapter 1. I've read the prologue, but to give you the description, in the early 1900s, taken from his homeland, 12-year-old Celestine spends most of the time locked away in the attic of a large house by the sea. The only time Celestine isn't bound by the confines of the small space is when he is acting as an unpaid servant to English explorer Sir Richard Babington. That name just kind of makes me chuckle a little bit. Babington. As the years pass, he desperately clings to memories of his family in Africa, even as he struggles to remember his mother's face and sometimes his real name. 1947, Laura, a young orphan girl born into wealth and privilege, finds herself trapped in the same attic. Searching for a ray of light in the darkness of the attic, Laura finds a message carved on the wall, written in an unidentifiable language, and under the floorboards, an old-fashioned pen, a porcelain doll, and a beaded necklace. Providing comfort for her when all hope is lost, these clues will lead her to uncover the secrets of the attic. Now, I have a slight idea of what the connection is. I'm not going to say what that is because I do want to kind of keep this spoiler free, and I don't want to like verbalize it for myself. So we're doing this now, as well as the Amalfi Curse. Like I said, for this, I'm about to start chapter 1, and then the Amalfi Curse, I've I always take off the dust jacket when I read hardcovers. But with the Amalfi Curse, I've literally just started that, so I'll give you an update when I have one. Okay, so slightly off topic, but I have made my first scrunchie. My first hair scrunchie. And I am super proud of it. Well, it's technically my second one. This was my first one. I don't think I did enough stitches in this one to get it to the right shape. But I still like this one. I'll probably use it as like a small scrunchie. I only did like the 2 rounds. So the first round of single crochets and then the second round of double crochets. This one I did like the full 3 rounds. I did enough stitches, and just to show you what it looks like in the hair, I'm probably going to try to make a few of these because I have a lot of white yarn. This is what it looks like. But like I was saying, I'm probably going to try to make a few of these because I have a lot of white yarn. And then I might list some of these. Just to make a little bit extra money. But again, I'm going to have to see about that. And then see what would be the best way to approach that it would be. So... again, for right now, or not again, but for right now, if I do make extras, it would probably all just be white, just to see how it sells or how it goes. So anyway, getting on topic, I am about 4% into the Amalfi Curse. I was listening to it while I made this, which is kind of why I brought it up. I'm 4% in, about 25 minutes in, and I have an inkling I'm gonna like this. I have an inkling I'm gonna like it. I'm almost tempted to buy it tomorrow. I'm going to Barnes & Noble with a friend tomorrow, and I'm almost tempted to get it if I see it, but my focus, I don't know if I've said this before in recent, reading vlogs. I haven't done a reading vlog in a while. I did the August one. I don't know if I've said it in that one, but my recent priority has been trying to, I think I did say it, has been trying to finish getting the series Heaven Official's Blessing to, I'm not going to try to say that right now, but TGCF and the Mandarin. I want to build up this series so that I can do like a full series read. So there's that. So if anything, tomorrow when I'm out with my friends, I'm fixing some more books real quick. But that's that place. If anything, what I will probably do is get volume. I literally only have like 2 more to get. So I'll probably get volume 7, and then depending on how much the Amalfi Curse is, because they have like a buy 50% or get 50% off select hardbacks. It's not all hardbacks, so if I can get the 50% off that hardback, then I will. I'll get it. If I can't, I'll see how much it is, just because I'm trying to save up my, I think I've talked about this too, I'm trying to save up my, I'm a Barnes & Noble premium member. I'm trying to save up my membership rewards, so any money I get from the rewards from the stamps, I'm trying to save that up to, where is it? That shelf now. To get the part 2 of the 25th anniversary edition of Magic Knight Earth, the manga. Let me just pull it out real quick. Oh, it's heavy. 25th anniversary? Yeah, 25th. So this is, it's like a box set. This is part 1, and I just, oh, here's the front. That was the back I just showed you. So, I want to get part 2, so volume 1, and then just because the manga was like in 2 parts, I will say I am kind of upset with what they did with Eagle in season 2. This is volume 2, Equal Vision, because he was my baby. I loved him. I think when I was younger, like I've mentioned this before on the channel, I think, like, I'm pansexual. It doesn't feel weird saying that. It feels natural, but it's like the fact that I'm saying it, you know, it's not that this is not a recent development for me or a recent thing. It's just, for me at least, there wasn't like a big coming out about it. And I think a large part of it is because growing up, for me, I'm more attracted to like personality rather than gender. But growing up, there was always kind of the assumption that I was straight because a lot of the stuff that I grew up watching, at least, it had the personality type that I liked that was usually men. So it was usually men with those personality types, kind of like the more dominant, I don't want to say too much, but like the more dominant personalities. And then like when I was young, it's like, now I'm okay liking the villains a little bit more, but when I was younger, it was just like, oh, I can't like the villains, they're villains. And also too, it's like there was also the situation where it was like, when I was younger, it's like, if they're in a relationship, I can't break that up. So like, think Aragorn and Arwen, even though I'd probably more so go for Arwen, more so Arwen rather than Aragorn. And like, speaking like Lord of the Rings, I was always more attracted to the elves, which I feel like says a bit. I was always more attracted to, like, personality wise, it was definitely more men, more of that dominant personality. Looks wise, it was always more like androgynous people, more feminine looking men, more androgynous looking people. And I feel like that should have been kind of like a little bit of a hint, because like I always loved like also like Arwen and Galadriel. And then, but like when I was little, it was just like, because the personalities that I liked were men, it was just like, okay, I'm straight, which I'm not. And then also too, there were movies, more so with movies, but with some shows, where it's like I would bounce around between liking characters. I talked about this, I think, but I would bounce around, and then it was just like, oh, I was really liking this one female character. Like in Trinity Blood, I kind of bounced around, and then I was like, oh, I really kind of liked Katarina. And then if you look at like Nausicaa, there were also some movies and shows where it's like I didn't like any of the male characters, but because I liked the female character, but I didn't fully register. I liked a female character, but it didn't register that I was crushing on them, you know? So it's like, oh, I don't like anyone. Like in Nausicaa, Kushana, like her personality type and the way she's drawn, like, chef's kiss. Like, but again, it didn't fully register that I was like, I could be attracted. Not that it was wrong, but it just didn't register that I could be attracted to women or non-binary people or gender fluid. Like, I say I'm pansexual just because it's like, for me, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the gender is, like, or what's in their pants. Like, at the end of the day, that doesn't matter to me. So, and when I was in high school, that's when I kind of started realizing, like, maybe, and part of it too was that, like, when I would talk about it with friends, like, I would say my partner, like, and when I would have a friend or two, like, say, like, your partner, I'd be like, yeah, like, you know, I'd be okay if my partner was gender fluid or trans or non-binary. That was also a huge hint. It's like, you know, like, I was okay with that. But, like, again, it wasn't fully registering until more recently. Like, hey, that's not a straight thought to think. Anyway, going back to Eagle. Eagle is on the more androgynous side, but again, with the personality that I like. So, yeah, I don't like what they did with him. And then just to finish showing you, this is volume 3. This is all for part 1. And then there is also the illustration collection, which I always love going through this. I always love going through this. And then I'm also thinking about getting the regular editions of Magic Knight Earth, or the more recently updated editions. But I need to look this back up. Because I keep seeing them at Barnes & Noble and I keep putting it off. So I might get those just because I'm pretty sure I have room for those. And so it's either going to be Heaven Official's Blessing and the Magic Knight Earth, the regular editions, or Heaven Official's Blessing and the Amalfi Curse. So, and with Magic Knight Earth, I'll probably get all 3 for part 1 because I'll want the set. And I keep seeing all 3 when I go, like I said, but I keep putting it off. So I'll just have to see about how it all goes tomorrow and the whole spiel, the whole dealio. So I will see you in Barnes & Noble in like 1 second. Okay, outfit for today. This floral dress, this heart necklace, mirror, pumpkin, and bead earrings. So we're probably also gonna do the Northridge Mall. We'll see how we both feel. We might do Northridge Mall or Barnes & Noble, and then we might do both. So we'll just see how it all goes. But I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so I'm kind of hot right now, so I'm not putting that on. But I wanted to show you all what I got. I forgot to record at Barnes & Noble again to film a little bit, but that seems to be the norm. So I got volume 7 of Heaven Official's Blessing, and basically, okay, I was right. I had 1 through 6. I was like questioning a little bit, like, do I have 6 or not? But my friend was just like, I think you don't have like the 5th one. I was like, no, I got the 5th and the 6th one recently. So I'm kind of glad that I got the correct one. And then I also got volumes 1 through 3, books 1 through 3 of Magic Knight Earth Part 1. And then once Part 2 is out, once Part 2 is out, I'm gonna get that. This edition, I know I showed the Magic Knight Earth 25th edition. I don't know if I showed that in this video or not. I may have. But that, when I get part 2 for the 25th edition, so it's going to be that, and then also part 2 of the anniversary edition. Wow, I'm repeating myself a little bit. It's going to be those 2 that are going to be like my display, and then this, and then when I get part 2 of this, these are going to be my reading editions, because like the 25th anniversary editions are so pretty, and they have like some special edition like color illustrations. So yeah, I have these as my reading versions, and then the anniversary as my display. So these ones are just going to be in hiding for a little bit. Okay, so really quick update. I did forget to update about the Attic Child once I was like really reading it, but I just kind of binged through this. I absolutely loved the story. It's so emotional, it's so hopeful and inspiring, and just there's so much emotion going on in it, and it's so hard to encapsulate with one word or phrase, and it's just chef's kiss. This was like a 5 out of 5 stars for me. Definitely in my top 10 of the year. I definitely recommend more people reading this and just enjoying it. So there's this book. So my next book is going to be Never Whistle at Night, edited by Shane Hawk and Theodore C. Van Alst Jr. This should be a fun read. It's perfect for this time of the year. So to give the description, many indigenous people believe that one should never whistle at night. It can cause evil spirits to appear and even follow you home. These wholly original and shiver-inducing tales introduce readers to ghosts, curses, hauntings, monstrous creatures, complex family legacies, desperate deeds, and chilling acts of revenge. Introduced and contextualized by best-selling author Stephen Graham Jones. Yeah. Okay. Also by Stephen Graham Jones. These stories are a celebration of indigenous people's survival and imagination, and a glorious reveling in all the things an ill-advised whistle might summon. So perfect for this time of the year, just going with the vibes. Hopefully I'll enjoy this. Horror and mystery thriller. Ideally, I like those genres, but like, we'll see how it goes. I'll probably like this one. I don't know if I'll really be able to, I mean, maybe, but I don't know if I'll really be able to like fully get into like the mystery, the horror, the scary of it, or the shiver-inducing part of it. We'll see if I do. I kind of doubt it, but I'll probably still enjoy this. So I feel like with this kind of a genre, it works better for me as a TV show or a movie, because then I also have the visuals of the TV or movie. Whereas with books, I think I talked about this before. With books, not that it's harder for me to envision, it's just I get into books and I get really invested and I can picture them out in my mind. I can have the pictures in my mind as I'm reading the story. It's just, for me, there's some sort of disconnect with mystery and thriller and horror. There's some sort of disconnect reading it. And I think it's probably just that, like, I really try not to imagine that kind of stuff. I really try not to picture it too much because I am more on the sensitive side. So that might just be what the disconnect is for me. But like I've said, I'm most likely going to enjoy this. And hopefully this will be in like another one of my top 10 books. So let's go from here. And I'll give you all some more updates with this book, hopefully. So I was recording another video for September, and then I remembered I had to update with this one. So here we are. And I'm taking a break, a little bit of a break, at least for today, from these earrings, just because I've been wearing them like whenever I go out, and they're not that heavy, but it's like it can tug for a little bit, and wearing them for like a few hours can be a little bit much. So I'm just giving my ears a break, but I wanted to give you an update for reading progress. I know I said I would try to update mid-book, but I just ended up binging through this. Never Whistle at Night. Honestly, I wasn't as like scared or spooked or nervous about this book, which wasn't a surprise. It wasn't a disappointment either, just because I knew with my expectations with how I am, it just wasn't going to happen for me. This does have some very creepy vibes and overtones and undertones, and this is a great October read. Like, honestly, like, the stories themselves are very creepy. So there was a part of me that was creeped, but it wasn't like bone chill. Like, at least reading it for me is not super bone chilling or as scary as others might find it. Again, that's me for reading this. If I had like watched like a mini series about this, or a series of mini episodes, you know, then yes. But like reading it, there is some disassociation for me, like I was talking about earlier for this. So there's that. I love this book. Great read. I highly recommend this. And then I started the next book on this list. I know I had like some sort of TBR, and I know this was on it. I know one other book was on it. I just don't remember what else was on it aside from this. Never Whistle at Night and Malice. Like, I'm getting through it, so I don't remember if there was anything else on it, and I'm not gonna rewatch it. So I started Crossed by Emily McIntyre, and to give you the description, he is righteous, she is sin. Father Cade Frederick, whatever, is a holy man. Brought up in the streets of Paris, he has dedicated his life to the church. But there's a monster that lingers just beneath the surface, a sickness, one that breeds darkness and feeds on the damned. When he's tasked to become the priest of Festival, Vermont, a town both beautiful in architecture and riddled with despair, his sickness sings, demanding he rid the place of evil. Amaya Paquette is Festival's beautiful mystery. She spends her days caring for her younger brother and her nights transforming into Esmeralda, dancing for greedy eyes and shameless lips. Although she longs for love, she shies away from companionship, afraid of being abandoned again. When Father Cade lays eyes on Amaya, he finds himself ensnared, convinced she's using witchcraft to lure him to her. He can't eat, can't breathe, can't think unless it's her. And temptation is a devastating mistress. She's his weakness, so he decides he'll be her demise, even if it means killing the only woman he might ever love. So, perfect for this time of year, I feel. And I have a feeling this is going to be kind of a little cathartic. I mean, I think I've mentioned it before, but like, I don't have a whole lot of like religious trauma. Thankfully, I don't. I think with the Catholic Church that I grew up in, I was like kind of in a pretty decent window, at least for the church side of things. The school was not the best. Not that there was like abuse at the school, but like it just, with how children dealt with other children, like it was not the best. And it didn't deal with bullies well. Anyway, that's besides the point. But like, even though I don't have a lot, if any, I have like barely any religious trauma, like this is gonna be cathartic. I have a feeling this is gonna be cathartic. So I read the first chapter. Oh, for a second, I read this when I was kind of half asleep last night, so I only read like the prologue and chapter 1, and then I kind of read when I opened up to chapter 2, like the first line on that last page for chapter 1 is "I want eggs," and I was like, I totally misunderstood that. So yeah, it's her brother wants eggs. So anyway, so far I think I'm gonna like this. I think this is gonna be cathartic, and I feel like this will be like my religious trauma, part of my like religious trauma cathartic recommendations. I only have 2, so maybe I have more. I guess I could have like 3, sort of 5-ish. 5 if I include the individual novels, 3 if I just talk about the omnibus. But anyway, yeah, cathartic. We'll see how it is, and hopefully I'll update you actually within the book. I'm trying to be better about that. Okay, so I wanted to give you all a little bit of an update. So I haven't made a whole lot of progress yet in Crossed. It hasn't been super long, so it's like not a huge deal. But I'm at chapter 5, page 42. So far I'm liking it. I think I like Hexed a little bit more, but this probably is in like the top 3. At least right now. Like, I'm about to start chapter 5. 4 chapters in. This probably is in the top 3. I'm going to turn this light off because it's not helping. But yeah, I'm going to put this on pause though, because I just went to the library and picked up a library book, specifically Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. And this one I've had on my TBR for a while now. And it's about time that I read it. And since I have put myself on a book buying ban kind of suddenly for September, I have decided that I need to utilize the library a little bit more. And yeah, this is a great way to do that. Oh, I need to read that part. So yeah, perfect way to do that. And I'm just using the receipt as there's a map, which helps. So yeah, so Crossed is on pause right now because 21 days, 3 weeks. And I kind of want to focus more on this and focus a little bit more energy on this. Reading 2 books, reading 2 physical books usually isn't an issue for me, but because this is a library book, I want to make sure that I'm, like I said, focusing more on this book so that I can finish it and then return it. The only kind of sad thing is that it is a little bit dented. I don't know how well you can see it, but oop, yeah, you can right there. So it's not the library's fault, but yeah. I'm gonna go with this. I will keep you updated with where I'm at. I'll try to update a lot more regularly with this one to let you know how I'm liking it. Okay, so minor update because I realized last night after I recorded my update with getting Spin the Dawn, I realized that I hadn't updated you about the Amalfi Curse. So quick side note, I'm not wearing that right now because it's been kind of warm lately, and when I get back home from work and after I eat dinner, I'm just kind of warm. So it's like, I don't feel like wearing that, but it's there. And the sentiment's there, so we're just going for it. One moment. So I did finish the Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner. And this wasn't like the best book that I've read. Like, it didn't well, it did kind of wow me a bit. But it didn't like wow me in the sense of like falling in love with the book, or let me rephrase, it didn't wow me in the sense of falling head over heels deeply in love with the book like you sometimes get, like how I did with Lord of the Rings, and then another book by Sarah Penner, The London Sound Society, or Sex, Crimes and Crimes by Elizabeth Lynn. Like, there are books that I've fallen like head over heels in love with, and this The Amalfi Curse was not one of those books, but I did really like it. I did love it to an extent. I did enjoy it. It was a fun read. It was a good read, and it was definitely worthwhile, and it definitely was worth listening to. I think I might try the Apothecary Diaries again at some point. Not the Apothecary. I did that earlier. I think I might try The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. I think that one was her first book, and then it was The London Sound Society, and then it was The Amalfi Curse this year, 2025. So I might try the I was about to do it again. I might try The Lost Apothecary again. But I think part of it too was that was like her first book, and it wasn't quite in the, it's kind of in the same vein of The London Sound Society and The Amalfi Curse, but The Lost Apothecary, like, it's not quite in that same realm, if that makes sense. So, you know, I might try it again, but I'm not going to force myself to read it and to commit to it if I'm not feeling it again. But that's the update for that. Let's see. I think I've already updated you with Crossed. I'm at chapter 5, I believe is where I left off. Chapter 5. Yeah, chapter 5, page 42. And I mentioned I'd put this one on pause because I'm done with this one, and this is a library book, and I have 3 weeks with it, 21 days. I think I read 1 chapter last night. Yeah, I read 1 chapter last night, and so far I'm liking it. I'm using the little receipts as my bookmark just because I didn't feel like pulling out any bookmarks, and I don't want to do, like, I don't know. I don't know, so I'm using the receipts. And so far, I'm only a chapter in. How many pages am I in? I'm about to get to page 18. I'm about to start chapter 2, and I so want to see the dust jacket, the hardcover part. But I think this is one that I'll have in like my Elizabeth Lim shelf in that section. But I wanted to read it, and plus too, since I'm on the no buying book buying ban, I needed to just borrow it from the library. I do have some other books on hold at the library. I have 2 others. I think it's so this is Love by Elizabeth Lim, because I'm trying to read more of her books. And then another one is like The Lost Baker of Vienna, I think. Baker. Is it this one? When did this come out? Okay, this year. So it's The Lost Baker of Vienna by Sharon Kurtzman. And I don't know. Okay, let's see. I'm just reading the description real quick because I literally just bought it for the title. Or I didn't buy it. I borrowed it. I placed a hold on it. Okay, so it's a novel, a fiction story inspired by her own family's story post-Holocaust. Okay. Okay. So I don't want to know too much more about this. And if that's something that interests you, go look it up, borrow it from your library. So yeah, I think I'm going to end this video here because we are getting a little bit on the longer side. And you know, it's just, I'm trying to do longer form videos, but I don't want it to be like too long just so I can finish up a certain number of books or read what I had on my TBR for the video. Like I am trying to do longer form videos, but I don't want to like keep pushing it out just for the sake of finishing a book or doing more reading in the reading vlog. So yeah, I'm gonna end this here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.